together, it becomes a living, breathing bond of men united for one cause. A common goal shared by the 2007 Raiders to win. The foundation of this goal is based on determination, perseverance, and leadership.
Players don't care about age. Players want to be coached. Great players want to get better. And that's what we're going to do.
I am a Raider.
I am a Raider.
I am a Raider.
I am a new Raider.
I'm a new Raider.
I am a new Raider.
I have always been a Raider. I wear the colors, silver and black.
Silver and black.
We believe in teamwork.
You
Are the Raider Nation.
And this
This is our house.
is our house. A house worth defending.
A house like no other.
Together,
We are the nation.
The Raider Nation.
the Raider Nation.
the Raider Nation.
A nation undivided.
Undivided. Undivided.
Defending our home
With our defense, our offense,
and our special teams.
and our special teams.
All this begins now.
Everything begins now.
It starts now.
It's 2007 Oakland Raiders preseason football. Welcome to the McAfee Coliseum, where the Silver and Black host the Arizona Cardinals as we kick off Raiders football 2007. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, JT the Brick, and welcome to an exciting preseason for the Silver and Black. If the energy level is like what we've seen throughout the entire offseason, this will be a memorable season. In January, Al Davis hired 31-year-old Lane Kiffin out of USC as the organization's 16th head coach, a move that has been well received by Raider players.
It's a fresh start. He's a young guy. He's energetic. He's not, set in his ways to this is the only way we're doing it. He takes, our suggestions as far as, different things, and, he's made it fun again.
I actually went to the same school as him, Fresno State. My redshirt year, he was the graduate assistant there, so he was kind of showing me the ropes. And you could tell back then that he was made to be a head coach. He has the enthusiasm, the drive, he has the knowledge, and he's going to be a good coach for a long time.
Since Lane Kiffin was hired, he's brought in 46 new players. He is committed to turning this team around and getting it back to their winning ways. For more on that, let's throw it up to our broadcast team. Grant Napier, Jim Plunkett, and George Atkinson. Guys?
JT, thank you very much. Lane Kiffin told us in a meeting yesterday, he said, hey, I told the guys day one, I don't care what you've done in the past. I'm taking the best 53 players in the week one against the Lions. Plunk, there's no question his specialty is offense. He should be a big asset to the Raiders.
Oh, precisely, Grant. That's one of the main reasons they brought in Lane Kiffin, was to help an offense that struggled mightily a year ago, had trouble scoring points, turned the ball over, put the defense in very difficult situations. But with Lane Kiffin's background at USC, his family, his father being a defensive head coach in the NFL, I think that he'll bring a new dynamic to the offense of the Raiders.
All right, let's talk about the defense, the strength of this football team, George. And boy, does Rob Ryan have to be happy with what he sees on that side of the ball.
Got to be more than happy with this defense. This defense has proven to be an aggressive defense. It's a fast defense. It's a Rob Ryan developed defense. This is his fourth year as defense coordinator. And last year, this team was one in pass defense, third overall in defense. And if it continues to improve as Rob Ryan wants it to, well, it should be number one in those categories this year.
All right, the Lane Kiffin era set to begin when we come back right here on the Oakland Raiders Television Network. We welcome you back to McAfee Coliseum. Grant Napier, Jim Plunkett, George Atkinson, JT the Brick. Moments away from kickoff here on this first preseason game. The Cardinals have won the toss, and they will get their hands on the football first. You talk so much about Lane Kiffin. It was interesting. We talked to Tom Flores yesterday, who, of course, won 2 Super Bowls with the Raiders. Plunk, you're well aware of that, as the quarterback. And he said, I remember my first game as head coach. It was the Hall of Fame game. And he said, I was really nervous. We talked to Lane about that yesterday, Plunk, and he seemed like he was ready to go.
Yeah, he kind of pushed it aside, but I still believe inside he was pretty nervous. Had a few butterflies, I'm sure, going. But, this is something that every coach dreams of, to be a head coach in the National Football League. And, you know, Lane Kiffin is getting his opportunity as a young man. He's just 32 now. And I'm sure he's looking forward to doing the best possible job he can do with these Raider players.
George, you remember your first preseason game?
Do I? Butterflies flying everywhere, nervousness, you know, not knowing what's going to happen. It's the unexpected and not really having a clue as to what will come down at any particular time in a pro football game. And definitely the butterflies were flying.
Hey, George, if you remember, my very first game in the National Football League was against you and these very Raiders
and you had a
back in New England.
Too.
Oh, yes.
And, of course, you played 6 games back then in the preseason. As you look at Sebastian Janikowski, the veteran out of Florida State.
You know, and there's a guy who had a lot of back problems last year, had a difficult time. Wasn't quite as accurate as he has been in the past, but he's trimmed down. He's looking very good this year.
J.J. Arrington and Marcel Shipp back deep. And the Lane Kiffin era is underway. And Janikowski, and a good kick 5 yards deep. They'll take a knee. And we'll get a look at the Arizona Cardinals offense. And the top draft pick from a year ago, Matt Leinart, who really came on last year after sitting down for the first several games, but he played well in 11 starts. He had 11 touchdowns. The second-year man out of Southern California. We take a look at the rest of the offense for the Arizona Cardinals. And we'll look at it in just a moment. They run out of the eye on first down at the 20-yard line. Leinart will throw on first down. Looks for Bolden and incomplete. Good coverage on the play by the Raiders defense. Why don't we look at the offensive lineman? And the new center coming over from the Dallas Cowboys, Al Johnson, in the middle of that offensive front. And I'll tell you, the Cardinals have some weapons on offense. Anquan Bolden, the best of the bunch. Larry Fitzgerald, the dandy as well. So off the incomplete pass, it is second down and 10 for Leinart and the Arizona Cardinals on the opening drive of this football game. Bolden in motion, comes to a stop. And the give is to James. And Edgerrin James stopped for a short gain. The Raiders defense. And we talk about the rookie, Quentin Moses, the third-round pick out of Georgia. 25 career sacks with the Bulldogs. And Kirk Morrison, the outstanding linebacker in his third year. He led the team in tackles last year with 122. And the much improved and now experienced secondary for the Raiders. It is third down and 9 as they split the backs for Matt Leinart, who will work out of the shotgun. Johnson in motion. They set up the screen, and this is James. And he dives for the marker, but he's going to be a yard short. And it's going to bring up fourth down. Good pursuit by the Raiders, as I believe he's going to be stopped about a half yard short.
You know, this team of the Cardinals, very good offensively. Leinart came in, did a good job. Passed for 200 yards in 8 of his 11 starts. But a very experienced guy coming out of SC, one of the guys that Lane Kiffin actually groomed.
And they are short. So it's going to be 4th and 1, and the Raiders defense forces a 3-and-out, and the fans respond here at McAfee Coliseum. There's the outstanding punter, Neil Rackers. Both these teams with arguably the best punters in their respective conferences. And there's the very dangerous Chris Carr back deep for the Raiders. And a high spiraling kick. Carr will be able to return it. He starts at the 29. Has some room. And he's in the Cardinals territory all the way to the 48-yard line. An outstanding return by Chris Carr of 23 yards. Excellent field possession for the Raiders, Josh McCown, and the offense.
And what made that return effective is the fact that Chris Carr gave his blockers time to really set up the return and spring him to the outside. And the main thing about a return is that you've got to feel comfortable back there and feeling the punt and feeling it clearly and knowing where you got to go. Chris Carr set that up perfectly.
Josh McCown, the quarterback for the Raiders on this first series, the veteran who started 22 games in his NFL career, and he has mobility, and he looks to throw, and it is incomplete on the far side. Why don't we look at the offensive unit as Porter caught the ball out of bounds. And we look at the offensive line for the Raiders. Cooper Carlisle started every game the last 2 years for the Broncos. As a matter of fact, he played every snap on offense for the Denver Broncos a year ago. They're glad to have him. And you look at Dominic Rhodes, who comes over from the Indianapolis Colts. He gets to start. Lamont Jordan still nursing an injury, not ready to go as of yet. 2nd down and 10 for Josh McCown, just inside Cardinals territory. And McCown again looks to throw, and Porter not able to hold on. It is incomplete. We look at the defense for the Arizona Cardinals. And up front, Bertrand Berry, a dandy from his defensive end position. At linebacker, Chiki Okifor, he had 8.5 sacks and a very good defensive backfield led by Adrian Wilson last year, his first Pro Bowl appearance. 3rd down and 10 for the Raiders here on their first drive of this opening quarter. And McCown with time. Incomplete. Intended for the former Viking, Travis Taylor. And so a 3 and out, and we'll get a look at Shane Lechler.
You know, a couple of things. Number one, Coach Kiffin said not to read too much into who's starting tonight, whether it be Josh McCown, Dante Culpepper, or Andrew Walter. But another thing was that you saw 3 different things from those offensive sets, and I'll get back to that a little bit later.
Back deep for the Cardinals is Steve Preston. Oh, a high kick in Preston. He's going to return it at the 11. And good coverage by the special teams thanks to the hang time by Shane Lechler. So 2 possessions, 2 3 and outs. And once again, the Cardinals will take over 1st and 10. And we'll have that possession when we come back right here on the Oakland Raiders television network. They're ready to help you, and all you have to do is pick up the phone and call 1-800-RAIDERS. That's 1-800-RAIDERS. Bolden in motion. Matt Leinart. And he rolls and throws, and he has Bolden, and he has a gain of 4 on the play. Run out of bounds by Howard and Morrison.
You look at this Raiders defense in the first series, the first two plays they ran were basically plays where they blitz a lot. Here you see Namdi Asamoah coming up real quick and making a tackle on a quick pass pattern. That's what the Raiders are known for, their aggressiveness, their quickness, and their recognition.
Matt Leinart, the second-year player out of USC, just an outstanding career at USC. Of course, Lane Kiffin, the orchestrator of that great USC offense. Leinart, and here's Edgerrin James. And James trying to turn the corner, a short gain on the play. And once again, the Cardinals will be looking at a 3rd down.
You know, I think you'll see a lot of the same things from the Cardinals that you do from the Raiders and Lane Kiffin's offense. They like to move the quarterback a little bit, get him outside the pass rush, straight drop back on occasion, and they like to run Edgerrin James. Last year he rushed for over 1,100 yards, and by far their leading rusher.
You know, when a play develops that slow, Jimmy, on offense, it gives the defensive cornerbacks a chance to come up and force it inside where they got most of their help.
J.J. Arrington, the 3rd-year player from Cal, is into the game. Johnson in motion on a 3rd and short. Leinart, pressure, and incomplete as the Raiders forced Leinart into a quicker throw. Tommy Kelly providing the pressure for the Raiders.
You know, it certainly seems like this defense is picking up where it left off real early. You know, I know it's the first preseason game, it's the very first quarter, but they continue to put pressure on the quarterback.
And when you ask them to put pressure on the quarterback on 3rd down, that's what you want. They got excellent pressure from both inside and outside. And if they continue this, they'll just get better and better as the season goes along. When the season starts, they'll be on sync.
Johnny Lee Higgins, the 3rd-round pick from UTEP, and his first touch. And a fair catch right near the 40-yard line. 12 minutes, 6 seconds left here in the first quarter. Scoreless Raiders football when we come back on the Oakland Raiders television network.
60 a.m. with Greg Papa and Tom Flores.
Welcome back, and check out this ad in the LA Times for our affiliate in Los Angeles, KTALA5, the CW. Unbelievable ad in the paper. We thank them. We're going to go through all of our affiliates later on. Jim Plunkett, this looks like an ad they took out when you won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, thank you very much, JT. I really appreciate that.
Well, the second possession for the Raiders. Josh McCown, Dominic Rhodes, with Zach Crockett in at the fullback as they work out of the I. Ronald Curry to the left, Jerry Porter to the right, and it's Dominique Rhodes. And Rhodes is hit by Dansby as he crosses the 40, and a gain of 2 on the play.
You know, I think Dominique Rhodes was a great addition from the Colts, the leading rusher in the Super Bowl against the Bears this past year. You know, I thought he should have been MVP. He played so darn well. But between him and Lamont Jordan, they should have and Fargus and a few other players, they should have a really jam-packed competition for the starting running back.
Yeah, we talked to Lane Kiffin about Rhodes. He's going to be suspended for the first 4 games of the season. He said, hey, I need him to get work and see what he can do behind his offensive line. Jerry Porter makes the catch, run after, and he is across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Eric Green, the third-year player from Virginia Tech, on the tackle. Jerry Porter, guy that we need to keep an eye on. Obviously, last year he didn't play a lot for the Raiders. He's very talented. He's in his 8th year, and certainly Lane Kiffin is expecting him to have a big season.
Yeah, obviously him and Archell did not hit it off a year ago. Sat out literally the whole year, except for a few plays, but he's got tremendous potential.
3rd and 3. It's Curry, and he is pushed out of bounds by Eric Green again, short of the first down. So near the 4th down upcoming, it's going to be 4th and 2.
You know, that's one of the things I don't like. If it's 3rd down and 3 or 4, you know, run far enough to get that first down. Don't waste it down. He got a completion for 2 yards, still a yard short. Got to punt the ball away. But one of the things you saw from Lane Kiffin was, you know, so many different things from the passing game. Straight drop back. First play was a bootleg, then the shotgun, then a quick step to Jerry Porter. A lot of different things going on in this pass offense by Lane Kiffin.
Steve Preston back deep as you look at Shane Lankerly. We've talked about Lane Kiffin was Ken Wisenhunt in his first year as head coach on the other sideline for the Cardinals. And as expected, a high kick, and Preston will let it fall. And nice play down there. Good special teams play. And it will be down inside the 5 at the 2-yard line. B.J. Ward, the second-year man out of Florida State, able to prevent that ball from going into the end zone.
You know, B.J. Ward is having a great camp, too, guys. I mean, he's the guy came over. I think Rob Ryan's brother coached him at one point, recommended him to Rob. He's come over so far, and he's doing a good job. Right here, you see on special teams, he got down, got in position behind the football, not on the side of it, but behind it, where he could position himself to knock it back forward. What a great coverage by Ward.
And the football is at the 3-yard line. Marcel Shipp, the 7th-year player from UMass, out of the I, and it is Shipp. And he's got a little breathing room down to the 7-yard line. Gain of about 4 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 6 for the Cardinals. Scoreless here in the first quarter.
And Marshall Shipp was a starter for the Arizona Cardinals before they acquired Edgar James last year in a trade. And you can see why Edgar James is just a great football player. And Marshall Shipp will get his number of carries.
One of the things that Coach was worried about was Sapp losing a lot of weight. Could he defend against the run? And so I'm running against him right there.
Holden to the left. Leinert, a little delay. Shipp breaks one tackle, and he's across the 10 to the 15. And a first down for the Cardinals. So our first down of the ball game, the move the sticks for the Arizona Cardinals.
You know, I was talking about Warren Sapp and losing weight. He lost a tremendous amount of weight. Now, that would help him with the pass rush. But against the run, I don't think he'd be very effective. And we're starting to see that now. The more teams running him, the more we find out that weight loss is ineffective. But the pass rush, we see him be very effective with that. And Coach Kiffin was concerned about that.
Bolden in motion as Fitzgerald is at the top of your screen on a first down for Leinert. Leinert looks, overthrown, and almost intercepted by Stu Schweigert. Pass intended for Larry Fitzgerald, the 4th-year former first-round pick from Pittsburgh, but the ball too high, and Schweigert almost came up with the pick.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that the Raider defense does extremely well. Put pressure on the quarterback, made him get rid of it a little sooner than he wanted to. As a result, overthrown and almost intercepted. But one of the things the Raiders defense wants to concentrate on, good play there by Chris Carr. But one of the things is stopping the run. The Raiders have to get better at stopping the run.
And must, especially when you look at the divisions that they're in. You got Denver, you got Kansas City, you got San Diego, all running team plunk. So you got to be able to stop the run.
Brian Johnson, bottom of the screen. Now Leinert goes up top, and he has his man. And a first down by Anquan Bolden. He is run out of bounds by Schweigert. But a first down for the Cardinals up over the 25 to the 27-yard line.
And that's one good thing about Matt Leinart is he's so accurate. He can throw the ball extremely well, both long and short, but he's an extremely accurate passer.
And one thing as a defense you don't want, that is the offense to outflank you or get outside of you. That time, the Raiders defense allowed the offense of the Cardinals to get outside of him. That's why that play was effective.
And he has arguably the best tandem in the National Football League to throw to with Bolden and Fitzgerald, bottom of the screen. Leinart sets up the screen for Fitzgerald and dropped it. He looked before he grabbed that football, and it's incomplete. It's going to be a second down and 10.
It was close to a lateral. It was a screen to the wide receiver, Larry Fitzgerald. They got some blockers out in front, but the ball was thrown a little bit behind him, a little difficult to get his hands on. Plus, there was good pressure at that point of where the throw was. They came up extremely well, read it very well.
Also a good read by Fabian Washington, who came in to really break that thing up, Plunk, and make it difficult to be successful at that particular play.
Bolden top of the screen, Fitzgerald down at the bottom on a second down and 10. Movement up front, no flag. Leinart looking, and it is caught by the very talented Larry Fitzgerald, and that's what Fitzgerald will do for you. He'll go up and get it because you know what? He's 6'3", and they throw it up high, and he's able to come down with it.
But you know what happened with Fabian Washington? Then if he doesn't take that look back when he does and break to the receiver, drive to the receiver, and as you see here, Fitzgerald, here's the catch by Fitzgerald. You can see Fabian Washington looking back in the backfield. Go to the receiver, then take your look on the run. You'll make that play. If he takes his eyes out the backfield, he can make that play.
But he was very well covered. He still made the grab.
Yes, he was.
First down and 10. Ship, penalty marker down. The referee in this game is Bill Levy, and our first flag of this opening preseason game.
False start, number 83 offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So it'll be a first down and 15 for the Cardinals with 8:30 left here in the opening quarter. Here's Ken Wisenhunt, the first-year head coach for the Arizona Cardinals, coming over from Bill Cowher's staff with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fitzgerald and Bolden come out of the huddle, and they will go to the left of Leinart. That's Bolden in motion. The give to Ship as a hole, and he's across the 49 to midfield. Brought down by the new Raider, Donovan Darius, who, of course, is the 10th-year player from Syracuse. Interesting story when you talk about Donovan Darius as we get another look, George. He's a veteran. He played 115 games with Jacksonville. He started them all, and he's a guy that really, as you look at Stu Schweiger, help him out with the tackle. But he brings a lot of veteran leadership to this secondary.
Oh, without a doubt. And that leadership will benefit a lot of young guys, especially Huff. If he takes note of what Donovan Darius does and how he does it, he will learn tremendously from Donovan Darius.
Schweiger making the bulk of that tackle, as you can see on the replay. And it's Bolden on the end around. Chris Carr is there to hem him in, but Bolden able to break a tackle, finally brought down. Making the stop is Chris Clemens, the 4th-year player from Georgia.
You know, not only does Arizona put the ball in the hands of the receivers because they're big playmakers, they also get them involved in the running game as well, right there on the reverse to Anquan Bolden, because they're so explosive. They can go all the way on any given play. They try to screen with Fitzgerald earlier, but they do a lot of things with their wide receivers other than just throwing passes.
I know Rob Ryan is going crazy right now because the one thing defense coordinators hate is missed tackles. And right there, Chris Carr missed a tackle that he should have made.
All right, Leinart sets up the screen to the tight end poke, and he is to the 40 and down to the 38-yard line.
You know, if you notice, it seems like the Cardinals package now is kind of misdirection stuff, Jim. A lot of screens, a lot of reverses, and this is because of the aggressiveness of the Raiders defense. And the one way you offset an aggressive defense is to run misdirection stuff.
Yeah, you slow them down, and all of a sudden they can't chase as much as they want to because they have to hold their ground and expect a reverse or a misdirection in the play.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard pickup. Harrington is behind Leinart. Leinart looking downfield and almost intercepted. Almost picked off by Chris Johnson. Leinart throwing that ball up for grabs. And Johnson, the 5th-year player out of Louisville, had a chance to haul it in.
Yeah, Chris Johnson covered him very well down the field. He had him all the way. The ball was certainly underthrown a little bit. Could have given the receiver an opportunity to go after it, but he underthrew it a little bit, and Chris Johnson was all over it.
You know what they call that, right, Jim? A quack quack.
Quack, quack,
That's a duck. As a defensive back, man, you love to see the ball hang up in the air like that because it gives you an opportunity to make a play. If you return, catch it, and return it the other way for 6, that's what you want as a DB.
4 receiver set. Sean Morey into the game for the first time for Leinart on a 3rd and 5. Leinart pressure, and they got him. And he was able to get it away. Good coverage by the Raiders. Tommy Kelly had him around the jersey, and it's going to be a 4th down as the silver and black hold Matt Leinart and the Cardinal offense.
You know, that was close to intentional grounding, but he threw it towards a running back in the backfield, so he got away with it. But there it is. Good pressure by the Raider defense, but he got it to somebody and avoided the intentional grounding.
You know what we saw here in this series, the Raiders defense gave up yardage here and there. They've been, but they didn't break an old cliche in football, but that's what defenses want. You want to, hey, you give up yards, but you got to stop the offense at some point, especially when they cross the 50 and they're starting to threaten your territory.
There's Johnny Lee Higgins. I'll tell you talk about him. He had 4,745 all-purpose yards at college at UTEP, and telling you that when you have nearly 5,000 of total yards, you're doing something special on the football field.
You certainly are, and they probably want to put in his hands a lot as well, whether it be receiving, running.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Delay a game on the Cardinals.
And they probably want to get it intentionally just so they can give the punter more room to kick the football.
And it means you got some speed. You got that much
right.
yardage. You know what you're doing when you got the football in your hands.
Former Pro Bowler, a very good punter for the Arizona Cardinals, Scott player. And this time he's going to kick it into the end zone. So a touchback, and the Raiders will have the ball at the 20-yard line with 5:50 left here in the opening quarter. And we are scoreless right here on the Oakland Raiders television network.
Watching NFL Network.
Back here, and the Raiders' point of emphasis on offense is the offensive line. You know, Tom Cable comes over from the Atlanta Falcons. There he is with his back towards you. I'll tell you, he's very honest to me. He said, hey, guys, listen, I'm changing the blocking scheme here. I've got a couple of different players we have to gel. And Plunk, he said he is really, really anxious to get these games on. He needs to get this offensive line some working games.
He certainly does. And I'll talk about that in a minute.
Josh McCown on the 3rd series dropped the snap. And he is going to be dropped by Darnell Dockett, the 4th-year player who started every game last year for the Cardinals. But let's talk more about this offensive line.
Well, you know, last year it was kind of a merry-go-round kind of thing for the offensive line. A lot of people hurt, a lot of rotation, people playing out of position. It was very difficult to get a cohesive unit put together. Hopefully they can stay a little bit more healthy this year. Tom Cable will have some players that he can work with week after week in the same position.
Cooper Carlisle from the Broncos, Cornell Green, as you see the jump there, came over from Tampa Bay. So he has some different pieces, different blocking scheme than what they played last year. And he was very honest about it, George. He said, listen, this is going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight.
And rightfully so. But, you know, I was in camp and I paid.
False start, number 66 offense. That penalty is declined by rule. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 90 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
And you see the call on Dockett. But, George, go ahead, finish your thought on that as you look at this replay here and the late hit by Darnell Dockett. See it right there? Oh, boy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Ray Charles could call that one.
But you were saying you were at camp. Tell me about what you thought about when you were at camp and you were talking about the offensive line.
You know, what I saw was a concentration on fundamental techniques, footwork, eye coordination, believing what you see and knowing how to get there and take care of it. And the scheme, the blocking scheme, is area zone blocking scheme basically with some cutbacks on the backside, kind of like Denver used to run. And
big hole for Rhodes. He breaks the tackle. First down and more. He's across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Antrell Roll, the 3rd-year player from Miami, on the stop.
And that's what you get from a player like Dominic Rhodes. It's cut off on the run side. He goes to his left. He sees the pile up, cuts it back against the grain. Good pickup, good breaking tackle. Even makes the guy who finally tackled him almost miss him. So that's the kind of play you're going to get from a Dominic Rhodes.
And we were talking about line blocking schemes where you saw the line there, move, create holes, Jim, and those holes that are created, and you have to line them as a running back. And the offensive line is opening up the holes for running back.
Dominic Rhodes, and he pushes off right tackle. Not a bad pickup, 4 yards on the play, maybe 5.
And once again, you saw a little bit something from different from Dominic Rhodes. He went up the interior of the line, spun off the first would-be tackler, and picked up 4 yards. Just a real fine play by Dominic Rhodes.
The right side of the offensive line, the left side of the Cardinals' defensive line, that's where the Raiders are running to right now. Maybe they found a good thing over there.
Could be.
First quarter action, 4:20 here in the opening quarter, and it's a second down. Doug Gabriel is in motion back with the team from New England. And that time Rhodes not able to make the turn on the corner. He was brought down by Chiki Okifor, the 9th-year man out of Purdue, who had 8.5 sacks last year, and Dansby also on the stop. Carlos Dansby, a 4th-year player from Auburn. And now the Raiders looking for a third down with the ball at the 47-yard line, make it the 48-yard line.
In that time, the Cardinals came with a blitz, very hard, very difficult to run against. It was a run-type blitz, and they were able to shut it down.
I'm pretty sure right now Coach Kiffin wants some of these conversions on third down because you really want to get some cohesiveness going with the offense. And the way you do it, you got to make those third down.
Low snap. They fumble it. And it's a loose football, and the Cardinals have it, but there are penalty markers on the field. Josh McCown, the second time in this series, has had a little problem. And looks like the Cardinals are offsides.
Number 92 defense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
One of the other things I'm sure Coach Kiffin would like to see is, have Josh McCown have a completion or two, get his confidence up. Things haven't gone so well so far in the passing game. He's had people open, has not been able to get him the ball. And here the snap is just low at his feet. He really had no chance to grab it. Very difficult situation to be put in if you're a quarterback.
All right, Zach Crockett, Dominic Rhodes on a 3rd and short. Ball in Arizona territory at the 47-yard line. Matson in motion. Rhodes. He's got the first down by inches. Nice job on the spin, and that will move the chains here in the first quarter.
Telling you, when you want a back to hit up in a hole to get your first down on short yards, boy, did he hit up in that hole. Real solid, Jimmy. And he hit up in, he was running behind his pads, head, shoulder first, and great running.
They're going to measure.
When you look at this play, here's how he hits up. Here's it running behind his pass, but look, 98 gave him a face mask, pulled him. I mean, that was.
That's why he spun around the way he did.
Yeah, Gabe Watson got him up there, as you said, near the face mask. It is a first down by inches, and the ball is at the 46-yard line with just under 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Raiders on the move in a scoreless game.
Now it's a good time for a play-action pass in my mind. They're running the ball pretty well right now. Hit him with something a little different.
The second-round pick, Zach Miller in motion. They throw it quickly to Porter. Porter able to break a tackle. He's got some daylight. First down for Jerry Porter. And he's inside the 35 on a 14-yard gain all the way down to the 34-yard line. Terrence Holt ran him out of bounds.
That's something we missed all of last year with Jerry Porter. He wasn't on the field. You didn't get that kind of play. You want to get him the ball quickly. He's big, but yet he's fast, and he breaks tackles just like he did there. And when you get that kind of play from a receiver, that's tough to beat, and it's tough to cover. There he is. Jerry Porter makes a good grab, puts a move on the defender, picks up those extra needed yards, got a first down.
Antron Rowe playing as far off as he was playing off, Jim. That was a great call.
Dominic Rhodes. And at the point of attack, they were able to grab him. Chiki Okifor got there first to slow him up. And Rhodes, a loss on the play. We are also looking for the Raiders. You might see a new number on the field, number 17, and that is Mike Williams, who was part of the Josh McCown trade. And obviously another guy that Lane Kiffin knows a lot about because he coached him when he was at USC. He was a first-round pick of the Lions. Quite frankly, he was disappointing in Detroit. Right. He's got a new start here with the Raiders.
Well, he wanted to come out early from SC, made the mistake of hiring an agent. That got him in a little bit of a bind. He couldn't go back to SC yet. He wasn't drafted, so he had to sit out an entire year.
And getting himself in football shape. He's awfully big guy.
Right, he is.
Huge for a wide receiver. I think he needs to shed a few more pounds.
Offense.
I think
5-yard penalty. Second down.
You saw that time Ronald Curry moving before the snap.
Ronald Curry a year ago was the Raiders' leading receiver with 62 receptions, but he didn't have much help on the other side of the football, and I think teams were able to key on him a little bit more than normally.
Jim, when you got receivers like Curry, Porter, Williams a possibility, and you got speed also. what kind of packages can you put together? I mean, does that allow for a lot of packages?
It does, and I'll tell you about that after this play.
And the count. And the mobility, the screen to Rhodes. Rhodes has some room, and Dominic Rhodes tackled at the 32. That's the one thing that Josh McCown buys to you. He's an outstanding athlete. He's very comfortable when he has to run with the football.
Yeah, and if you go by quarterbacks during training camp, here he is setting up for the screen, has some pressure, gets out of trouble, drops the screen out to Dominic Rhodes, comes up to be a positive play. But that's one of the things they really liked about Josh McCown over Andrew Walter and Dante Culpepper, his ability to get out of trouble, make plays on the run, just as he did right there.
All right, third down, Williams, Curry to the left of the quarterback, McCown. Porter at the top of the screen. Cardinals show blitz, and now it looks like McCown will take the timeout.
You know, I think it's better to call timeout in this situation this early in the season instead of coming up with a busted play.
We are scoreless. 29 seconds left here in the first quarter on the Oakland Raiders television network. All over the western part of the U.S. watching the silver and black this preseason. McCown on a third down. Underneath, he's got a man open. It's Williams. First down. He's inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Carlos stands beyond the stop for the Cardinals.
You know, and the Raiders come out in a shotgun this time, third and long, third and 9 yards to go, and they successful completion to Mike Williams. They're hoping for big things from Mike. They don't think he's up to speed yet. A little overweight, getting back in the National Football League. Didn't play a whole lot at Detroit, but if he can get down to his playing weight and to play the way he did at SC, you expect big things from him.
So we have gone a scoreless first quarter, but the Raiders are on the move. They've got the ball inside the 20 on a 1st and 10. Second quarter straight ahead when we come back on the Oakland Raiders television network. We are back with you as we get ready to start the second quarter. Grant Napear, Jim Plunkett, George Atkinson, JT Brick working the sidelines for us. The Raiders looking good here as Josh McCown has the team all the way down to the 17-yard line.
And one of the things that Lane Kiffin told us yesterday was each quarterback would go about a third of the game, depending on how the game went. And the starters are still in there for the Raiders, except for the wideouts.
Josh McCown, 5 of 8, 42 yards. This is the 9th play of this drive, 63 yards. Actually, the 10th play. Pressure on, they've got him. And an incomplete pass. McCown hit as he threw the football, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
You know, that's one of the things, obviously, the Raiders need to work on, protect that quarterback. The Raiders suffered 72 sacks a year ago. That's certainly unacceptable. And here it is, good pressure from the outside by number 92. Puts pressure on him, forces him to throw that incomplete ball up in the air.
Yeah, the veteran Bertrand Berry.
Right.
He's been around a while, the 10th-year man out of Notre Dame. It's 2nd down and 10. Dominic Rhodes, the tailback. He gets the handoff. And he pounds forward inside the 15. Short gain on the play, and it's going to be a 3rd down for Josh McCown and the Raiders. Antonio Smith, 4th-year player from Oklahoma State, making the stop.
In this drive, we're seeing a number of different plays, a number of different plays from different formations, and I'm willing to bet Lane Kiffin has just a multitude of stuff in his arsenal.
There's no doubt about that.
Josh McCown, who was a one-time starter for the Arizona Cardinals, started 22 games when he played in Arizona. Right now a 3rd and 8 here in the second quarter, and the Raiders move the right tackle jumping, and so this will be a 5-yard penalty.
Number 74 offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's Cornell Green, who comes over from Tampa Bay, part of the new look offensive line.
And that was a very unique, formation. 3 wideouts to the right side of the formation. You don't see that very often. Trying to flood one side of the field. Either that or bring one player all the way across to the other side, hopefully to run away from a defender.
Makes things a little more difficult now on a 3rd down and 13. Scoreless ball game here in the first half. Gabriel and Williams, the wideouts. They look for Gabriel. There was contact and a penalty marker. The penalty on Antrell Roll. He bumped the receiver, and it will be a 1st down. Doug Gabriel had a step in front of the defender, and he's guilty of the infraction. We'll take another look at it, George.
Yeah, you know, when you see the
pass interference, number 21 defense. Ball will be spotted at the 1-yard line. First down.
I'm not sure that was a catchable football.
No, it was over the top. Gabriel broke the pattern off a little bit, but them 21 was still over the top. The one thing about this offense that I saw a minute ago, it appears that Cornell Green is having a little problem, and what the Raiders were able to do with helping him is chip a little bit with Justin Griffin coming out of the backfield. He gave him some help. Cornell Green on his tackle.
First down and goal. Rhodes, and he's in for the touchdown. And the Raiders score first. And they're very excited. Dominic Rhodes, he says hello to the black hole.
Now that's exciting. That was an impressive drive. It had a few penalties to help it out, but it was an impressive drive. Number of plays, number of different plays, mixed the plays up. Thought the plays were mixed up quite well. When you look at this touchdown, it's just a power running play. Dominic Rhodes right over left side, and they power their win. And that's what you like to see from your offensive line, when they're able just to get down and just open that hole for that back with nothing but sheer power.
Janikowski. And it's 7-0 Raiders. So the Raiders strike first with 13:45 left here in the second quarter. We'll be back on the Oakland Raiders television network.
13 minutes and 45 seconds left in the first half.
7-0 Raiders. Dominic Rhodes on a 1-yard run, capping off a 12-play, 80-yard drive, taking 7 minutes, 5 seconds. And boy, you love to see those type of drives, Plunk.
Yeah, you're right, Grant. You know, this is one of the problems that the Raiders had a year ago. The defense was always on the field. They had their backs to the wall on many occasions, and this is a great way to keep them off the field. Long drives, great third down conversions, big plays, both in the run and passing game. You know, and that's something to build on, that's for sure.
And Janikowski ready to go. Back deep. J.J. Arrington on your left, Marcel Shipp on your right. And the Raiders on top 7-0. It's a line drive kick, and Shipp picks it up at the 3. Marcel Shipp. And he won't get back to the 20-yard line. Good special teams coverage. We're in the second quarter. And the Raiders lead at 7-0 on the Oakland Raiders television network.
Television network. This is where I sit at a Raider game. The infamous black hole, the most notorious fan base in all the NFL. The closest thing you'll find to an English soccer game. The fans never sit. They stand, and Dominic Rhodes dove into the black hole because this is the love that he wants from this fan base. Hey, there's no tickets to the black hole, but if you want tickets, call 1-800-RAIDERS. Staff is standing by right now. This is the black hole.
JT, yes, indeed. All you have to do is call 1-800-RAIDERS, and they've got great plans this year, and we'll talk more about it as we go on. Kurt Warner, the two-time MVP of the NFL, hands off to Marcel Shipp, and he's to the 25-yard line. You talk about Kurt Warner, the three-time Pro Bowler. He's in his 10th year. He started at the first part of last year and then gave way to the rookie Matt Leinart. And when he was the quarterback for the St. Louis Rams, boy, what a show that was.
They used to...
All right, second down. 3. Little play action. Warner with time, and he has his man, and it's a first down. Caught by Bryant Johnson, the fifth-year player from Penn State. And he is stopped short of the 40-yard line. Actually, they're going to give him to the 40-yard line. Chris Johnson from Louisville on the tackle.
You look at this route, guy. The receiver closes on the defensive back real fast. What happens, it got a little push off there from the receiver, and Johnson was able to catch that Plunkett because he got that little inside push off.
It was an excellent move by the receiver, though. Breaks out and turns around and does that hook. What push off?
Patrick in motion. Marcel Shipp, good penetration. Hawthorne got there first to slow him down, and then he had help along the way. Jay Richardson got in there as well. And you look at B.J. Ward, the second-year player from Florida State that was able to get credit for the stop. But nice play by Hawthorne in there. He got penetration and slowed up Shipp.
Got one of the players the Raiders are really high on. First-year player, Quentin Moses, number 96. Keep your eye on him. He is supposed to be a pretty good player and a comer.
Second down and long. Warner. And he puts it right on the money. And Johnson may go. Bryant Johnson. And he's in for the Cardinal touchdown.
Missed tackles. Defense coordinators hate missed tackles, and I guarantee you, the Raiders secondary especially will definitely get reprimanded for missing tackles. Right here we see play just a simple little slant turn in, caught over the middle, and you got to make that tackle. You just can't allow your receiver to get away from you, because what happens, depending on the coverage, it's nothing but open space in there, Plunkett, as you can see right here. Nice hustle by Chris Carter, but once you got that much room, it's hard to catch up. You got to make sure of your tackles, especially on slant routes, because you got no help inside sometimes, and you got a wide open field.
Neil Rackers ties the game at 7 with 11:34 left here in the first half on the Oakland Raiders television network.
It's really a neat get-together.
And the players do a good job. I have fun with JT co-hosting that. It's a lot of fun.
Chris Carr back deep, and he's in the end zone. He's 5 yards deep, and he will take a knee. And the Raiders will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20 with the 11:34 left here. And it looks like Andrew Walter is going to come in for the next series, and we'll look at the former Arizona State quarterback when we return.
7-7 game. Derek Burgess, back-to-back Pro Bowls, 27 sacks. What a run you're having with the Silver and Black.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good 2 years, man, and I think it just came from, you know, being blessed, and also my defensive coordinators and my defensive coach put me and my defense in good situations, you know, situations that suit us as players.
Talk about your health and how training camp's been so far.
It's been good. I see the guys get a lot of work done. I started practicing last Monday. I was coming off a hernia procedure, which was, you know, outpatient surgery. Just wanted to be smart about it, you know. That's why I'm not playing right now. So I'm good. Everything's fine. I work my way back in to get the little rust off me. So everything's all right.
One of the best in all of football, Derek Burgess. Back to you, Grant.
All right, JT, you appreciate it. Andrew Walter is into the game for the first time, and he finds Justin Griffith, who last year played with the Atlanta Falcons. There's Walter, who last year started 8 games, third-year player from Arizona State, and he takes over for Josh McCown, who led the Raiders on that long touchdown drive.
You know, one of the things I noticed by Josh McCown and just right there by Andrew Walter is whatever coaching they're getting, they're making their decisions fairly quickly and going to a receiver right away. And, you know, that really helps the offensive line. He's not holding on to the ball too long, getting rid of it quickly.
Second down, Justin Fargas is in at the running back spot. Play action. Walter with time, and incomplete, intended for Williams. Good coverage down there by Roderick Hood. Well, the one thing that Walter liked on that play, Plunk, he had time.
Yeah, he did, which he didn't get much of last year, but he's well covered. A little holding going on by number 26, but he's got to be able to run off a defender a little bit better than that, Mike Williams does. You have a bigger cushion so the quarterback can, you know, fire the ball in there.
Boy, I'll tell you, George is right. That Mike Williams is one big receiver. Yeah. It is third down. See, Walter will work again out of the shotgun. And underneath it goes. And the Raiders going to be short of the first down as it was thrown to John Matson, second-year player from Utah.
Nice little clear out pattern. Also, Gabriel runs a nice little in pattern. It clears out for the receiver coming underneath. Not enough room, though. You know, one thing you talk about when you have 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 7, you need to get that yardage beyond the stick, I think, in order to pick up the first down.
Shane Leckler. Boy, what a great punt this is. Wow. Preston backed all the way up inside his 10. And he'll be tackled at the 23. A 63-yard punt by Shane Leckler.
You know, I tell you, Grant, George, that looks like it was shot out of the punting machine. It was a perfect spiral, 63 yards in the air. My gosh, what a great punt.
That's what you call over punting the coverage. As you can see the techniques of Shane right here. Leg high, threw the ball. He knew he hit a good. Look at him looking at it. It's a shot. And one thing as a recover guy you don't want is for your punter to over punt the coverage, because now you get shot taken at you from the blocker. You know, I mean,
that's why Mr. Leckler is a 3-time Pro Bowl.
Oh, without a doubt. His technique reminds me a lot of a guy I played with by the name of Ray Guy.
Oh, yeah. And the Cardinals, again, go to a different quarterback. Shane Boyd is in there as Kurt Warner had one series and a touchdown. And Boyd with the handoff. And it looks like it's Arrington across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Shane Boyd is in his first year from Kentucky, 6'1", 225 pounds. Ricky Brown makes the stop as, again, Arrington back home where he played his collegiate football right not too far from here at Cal Berkeley.
Right.
He's been very disappointing in his first 2 years. They took him in the second round, and they're expecting him to have a big year. But he's playing behind Edgerrin James, one of the very best in the business, and, of course, Marcel Shipp. It's a crowded backfield for the Cardinals. Boyd. Arrington puts it inside, and he's tackled from behind by Tyler Brayton. Gets the ball over the
He's so darn tall to be inside there with all that traffic going on. But, you know, he's trying to make this team, he's trying to make it a better team, and he's trying to improve each and every day that he's out there at practice.
3rd down and 2. Arrington, the lone setback. The bunch formation with 3 receivers to the left of Boyd. Clock running down at 2-1. Boyd just does get it off in time. Intercepted! And the Raiders are going to walk it in. Intercepted by Hiram Eugene. Penalty marker down, but Eugene had nothing but green lights, and we'll wait for the penalty call.
But as the defensive back, you love those just thrown right to you. You know, Plum?
Oh. Pass interference. Number 80 of the offense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
So Eugene with the interception return, and the Raiders on top 13-7.
You know, Grant, George, you know, the defense did this so many times a year ago, coming up with plays on defense. You know, and here's Hiram Eugene stepping right in front of the throw. Young quarterback makes a basic mistake, and it hurts him, and Eugene runs it in for a touchdown. But once again, the Raiders are scoring on defense just as they did a year ago.
They led the league in pass defense last year, and this is the reason why when you can pick it off like that, like they did last year, and you come back during the preseason and continue where you left off last year, hey, that says a lot. That speaks volumes.
Eugene with a big play here in the second quarter from Louisiana Tech, and he has the Raiders up by 7. Mikowski. There's a high kick, and it's Arrington at the 6. And Arrington runs it to the 28. Let's check in with JT the Brick. JT?
Thank you, Grant. Dominique Rhodes, you won a Super Bowl ring, and now you've dove into the black hole after a touchdown. That's pretty good.
Oh, man, it felt great, too. I knew as soon as I was glad we took the time off, you know, so we can go down that way, and I knew I was going to get in the end zone, man, and it felt great diving in the black hole. I hope to do it about 40 more times, you know what I'm saying, this year.
Tell us about that play with the new zone blocking scheme. It worked just the way you drew it up.
Oh, yeah, we've been talking about that all week. We knew that if, you know, it's a play to where if the guy goes outside, we go inside. If the guy go inside, we go outside, you know, and that's just the way it goes, and we know it's going to be a touchdown play because that's the way we drew it up.
Welcome to the Raider Nation.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There you go, Grant.
Hey, thanks, Brick. And yeah, I'll tell you the one thing I love about Rhodes, he's multi-dimensional. He's very good at catching the ball out of the backfield, as we saw on that replay. And very versatile running back picked up from the Colts. And here's Shipp. And Shipp runs into a wall as he ran right into the arms of Ricky Brown, who last year played in 13 games for the Silver and Black. Johnson, the wide receiver, at the top of the screen. In motion goes Ben Patrick. Off to Shipp, able to cut it inside, broke a tackle, and he's across the 30 to the 32-yard line.
You know, I know this was early.
Tiffin was telling him, I mean, I really do.
Yeah,
just from being up at training camp and talking to Lane and talking to some of the players, they bought into it early, and as you said, it is early, but you can definitely sense the difference. Oh, what a hit leveled there by B.J. Ward. Wow.
That's what the defense needs there. When you start talking about big hits, interceptions, stopping the team on 3 downs, that's when your defense really is catching fire, and it feeds, the whole team feeds on it. Special teams feed on it. Offense feeds on it. It's just a feeding frenzy is what it becomes.
I'll tell you, Troy Benneman's going to be watching where he's going the next time he goes across the middle. What a hit that was.
I love it.
That's big-time stuff right there. And back deep, Johnny Lee Higgins breaks one tackle. Look at him go! the rookie, creating some excitement. The third-round pick out of Utah. And he makes something out of nothing.
He certainly does. Reverse field, turned up the sideline, picked up 20 yards, 15 yards. Here he goes to the right, sees nothing. He's trapped, breaks the tackle, cuts back to the left against the coverage, and picks up another 15 yards. Great play. I tell you, excuse me, George, but went to state basketball championships as well at St. Francis High School in Mountain View.
Andrew Walter on a 1st and 10. Matson in motion. Fargas the tailback. And he's not going to go anywhere. They got penetration at time. Chris Cooper, who started his career here in Oakland, a original draft pick of the Raiders. He's in his 6th year out of Nebraska Omaha, and he got penetration and a loss on the play of 4 yards.
You know, guys, one thing that is evident that we see, although like you said early, is that this team has been concentrating on certain things. And on defense, is stopping the run. On offense, the offense getting more proficient. And we're seeing some of that already. We know that whatever Lane Kiffin is doing, it's the right thing for his team.
3 receiver set for Andrew Walter. Looks right, throws over the middle, and it's complete to the tight end, Matson, in the crowd. And he is to the 35-yard line. Pengo Tungofao out of Idaho State, the rookie free agent, on the tackle.
And they're very high on John Matson. He came in, did a very good job a year ago. He's a tweener, a wide receiver, tight end type. They're trying to mold him into a tight end. Hopefully he'll put on some more weight and strength so he can block for the run as well. But great hands.
3rd down and 7 from the 36-yard line. And Walter will work out of the gun. Cardinals showing blitz, and now Walter barking out some signals. And the Cardinals send one, and it's complete Matson. And Matson has the first down. He's across the 45 to the 48-yard line. Nice job by Walter. You know, talk about the difference in it when you have time to throw the ball.
Oh, absolutely. You know, last year you couldn't evaluate either him or Aaron a year ago, but good setup. Looks down the field. He's going to go to his right, and this year he's able to, come off the first receiver, find the second receiver because he's got time to do it. And it makes, believe me, it makes every quarterback in the league much better when you have the time to throw the football.
So a first down right to the 47-yard line. Fargas is behind Walter. Walter again will throw. Walter looking long. And it's incomplete. The ball thrown out of bounds. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. A pass intended for Johnny Lee Higgins.
And Johnny Lee Higgins had him beat. I think, Andrew's got that strong arm. He needs to lead him up the field a little bit more. That was just underthrown and thrown out of bounds, as a matter of fact. But once again, he's got time to look for his receivers and get the ball down the field.
Now the split it in as he comes to the bottom of the screen. Doug Gabriel at the top of the screen. We're in the 2nd quarter, just over 5 minutes left with the Raiders on top 14-7. Gabriel in motion. Here's Justin Fargas, another USC product, and he is tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. Making the stop again was Tungofao, and this will bring up a 3rd down.
And here's the thing, and the quarterback's got to find the guy open down the field somewhere.
So it's 3rd down and 9. Cardinals send 4. Walter. And first down. There's Zach Miller. He's your 2nd-round draft pick from Michigan State with a nice grab. Zach Miller, who had 144 catches in his career at Michigan State. And good to see him. I said out of Michigan State, obviously out of Arizona State. But you know what? Now, I keep on hearing about how good this Arizona State product has looked, guys.
And there's Andrew Walter jumping up in the air, finding an old target from Arizona State. Obviously, they've worked together before, and he hits them. Great catch. And I love throwing to the tight end, believe me.
He's going to kill me if he hears me saying he's from Michigan State. Obviously, as you were saying, I mean, we know about he and Walter hooking up, and Walter's very comfortable with him. Underneath it goes, and it is complete. And a short gain on the play of 2. Making the grab is Justin Griffith. Darrell Blackstock on the tackle.
The middle of the field is wide open, and
they'll probably try and stop that right now, but right now they're being hurt underneath.
All right, it's 2nd down. Justin Fargas gets a block, accelerates, and he's to the 30-yard line. and it's going to be 3rd down and short. Well, we talk about Zach Miller in the 2nd round of the 2007 NFL Draft. The Raiders selected the All-American from Arizona State to bolster the passing attack. He's versatile. The tight end is the Sun Devils' all-time leader in receptions, and he also leads them in touchdowns at that position. The rookie tight end, the projected starter at tight end entering this preseason, and look for him to make a big impact in 2007. Zach Miller, the 2nd-round pick out of Arizona State.
Excuse me, Grant. And how good does Andrew Walter look now that he's got protection?
Oh, boy.
Compared to a year ago.
Fargas, big hole, and Justin Fargas has the 1st down for the Raiders.
Now, Jim, let me ask you something. I know as a defensive player, whenever a team is throwing the ball on your defense, it just really opens up the running game for you. And
1st down and 10.
And Grant and George is perfect time for play-action pass and try to hit a ball into the end zone. There's no doubt.
Williams to the right, Whitted top of the screen left. Fargas, and nothing doing.
Just don't listen.
A gain of 1 on the play. And obviously, if you're
take a shot,
go to the end zone, right? Plenty of time left. Obviously, the Raiders have 2 timeouts left. Fargas off left tackle. Fargas, Justin Fargas close to the 1st down. Got a nice block out there from 87. Alvis Whitted leading the way.
You know, Jim, from up here, one thing I'm seeing is that whenever Fargas here runs the ball very well. I'll get back to what I'm thinking. Hey, as you can see, you see the block by Miller here opens the hole. Fargas cuts up. I mean, just a nice running play. Here's the block here that springs Fargas for extra yards.
I mean, you got blocks by 2 guys there. You got Miller and Whitted both doing a tremendous job of sealing off the outside. That's good. That's good stuff. And here's Fargas. And Justin Fargas now with a 1st and goal for the Raiders. And they'll take a timeout with 38 seconds left.
Timeout, Oakland.
Oliver Celestine on the stop, but just
somewhere in the game.
So that becomes a setup kind of.
You bet.
1st down and goal. The Raiders already on top, 14-7. Miller in motion. Play action, Fargas. Underneath. Justin Griffith. And Griffith is out of bounds, stopping the clock with 32 seconds. Hey, guys, we have a special hello we want to make right now. The great Hall of Fame center from the Silver and Black, the Raiders, Jim Otto, watching this game from his hospital room in Utah. Obviously, we know the story. Unfortunately, he lost his leg. This guy is just a true warrior. He's one of the very best of all time. He's watching, and we certainly want to pass on our regards and a speedy recovery to the great Jim Otto.
Well, we certainly do, Grant. He's an all-time great Raider that ever played this game, and we all wish him the very best.
And I had the opportunity to play with him and be around him for quite some time.
Here's Williams, jump ball, he's got it! Mike Williams using all of his 6 feet 5 inches, hauling in the pass from Andrew Walter. And it's 27, and I bet you Jim Otto's got a big smile on his face right now.
I'm sure he does. How many times do you think that Lane Kiffin called that play to Mike Williams at USC? You know, it's just a fade route. Mike Williams out-leaps the defender because of his great height. And, you know Lane has called that many times at SC.
Hey, it's 6'5" against 6'1". All right? Throw the ball in the air. Let the receiver go get it. Right, George?
Mismatch.
That's all you need to say, and the extra point is good. And Williams, welcome to the Silver and Black. He's glad to be back on the West Coast. And so are the Raider fans. Happy to see him as it's 21-7. Hey, come on out and see the Raider. Lane Kiffin. Folks, it's very simple. The idea is once you tap in, it is time to go to work. Now, we're talking about the focus being completely on football and the task at hand. It's that commitment to excellence that will propel this Raiders team to greatness. I'm in. That's the theme in this year's Raiders training camp in Napa.
That's pretty direct and to the point, huh?
Doesn't get much simpler than that, does it? And a kick on a bounce. Marcel Shipp. And Marcel Shipp runs it back to the 30-yard line with 20. The quarterback Shane Boyd out of Kentucky, his 3rd series. Arrington. Boyd throws, and he's got Johnson. And Johnson is hit across the 40 to the 44-yard line, and they'll stop the clock with 16. The other 2 wideouts to the left, including Johnson, who's got that 58-yard touchdown grab earlier in this quarter. Cardinals have 2 timeouts left. Boyd, he will run it. He's in the Raiders territory, and he's down at the 47-yard line, and they'll take a timeout with 8 seconds left. Eugene makes this in to the right along with Johnson. 8 seconds left, 1 timeout remaining for the Cardinals. Boyd, and he has his man. It is complete to Merritt, and Merritt gets out of bounds with 4 seconds left. Ball will be spotted at the 50-yard line. Neil Reckers from the dirt. And it's good. Neil Reckers from 60 yards away to end this first half.
That is the end of the first half.
Wow. And so the Cardinals get 3 before intermission. But the Silver and Black with an outstanding first half, doing it on both offense and defense. And we have played 30 minutes of football. And the Raiders have a 21-10 lead here on the Oakland Raiders television network.
Official stats here just before the start of the third quarter. Reckers holds the club record with a pair of 55-yarders set in the same game against Seattle in 2004. This year he is healthy and looking to return to the form that earned him a trip to the Pro Bowl a couple of years ago. First half highlights, we have highlighted the work of Marcel Shipp and the Cardinals' ability to stretch the field.
Well, right there you can see what Matt Leinert's capable of doing when he has time to step up in the pocket, makes a nice throw to Fitzgerald. There's what I go. He's got great ability after the catch, just like his teammate Anquan Bolden.
And with Andrew Walter still under center and under pressure, Travis Taylor a little bit late, was not ready for the pass, and that could have been anybody's. Taylor, a Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens a few years ago. The pass covered by Darrell Hunter, who is one of those guys who is putting a little bit of pressure on the incumbents in the Arizona secondary.
Well, again, we talk about aggressive attacking defense. That's what Clancy Pendergast wants to play. And right now in the second half, he's going to get a chance to look at some of the young guys and see who might be those people that can step up and be part of that depth on that defensive front seven.
3rd down and 10. There is movement. Indeed, there is.
Number 67 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Next to Booth, Jeremy Newberry, the former 49er, who's basically playing on one leg. Right now he says he wants to play more than he wants to protect his health. Walter under pressure, and down he goes. A great effort to fight off the block. And the sack recorded by Chris Cooper, the well-traveled defensive lineman who kills that drive right there. Walter sacked 46 times last year and takes a big one as Cooper fights off his man and gets it home.
That's a great move by Cooper. Well, that one's a little bit before that, but great move. Just, you know, kind of gives him that shoulder, then takes it away. Little quick swim right by the offensive tackle. He never got his mitts on it.
Well, and really in a difficult situation, Breston is just going to let that one go as Tyler Fredrickson punts from the end line in his own end zone.
That's not going to be much of a challenge right there to Leckler. I mean, that was a lousy punt. Great field position, good opportunity right now for the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, some
offensive line to keep guys fresh.
Well, and all of a sudden the Cardinals finished the first half on a high note. They get great field position off play action. Boyd completes the pass. LaRon McCoy coming back from a season lost to injury. McCoy out of Indiana, Pennsylvania. There's a traffic jam on the backside of that receiver set. McCoy would very much like to be the guy who emerges.
Yeah, and there is great competition at that wide receiver spot. And I love the play call right there by Ken Wisenhunt. Gives him a little play action pass to come out with, just a little pitch and catch for Shane Boyd. Maybe he can get a little confidence going and get something rolling offensively.
Arrington trailing Castile as the Cardinals work out of the eye, and J.J. Arrington first down and then some. J.J. Arrington a couple of years ago at the University of California, a couple of thousand yards and better. He was the leading rusher in the nation, had a 100-yard game every game for the Golden Bears, and Arrington showing a flash of that now in his 3rd season first down for the Cardinals inside the 24-yard line.
And on that play, great job of sustaining blocks across the board up front for the Cardinals.
Arrington to the edge, sniffed out, fights off a man, but is not going to be able to avoid a minus play.
Well, and there's there's feast or famine with J.J. Arrington. At some point when you're running the ball, Brian, and you're trying to take it wide, you see the defense out there. You just got to turn your nose upfield and get north and south and get what you can out of the play. You're not going to outrun a lot of these guys on defense when they're coming up on the corner.
Isaiah Ekajuba registering the tackle for loss of 4 to the 27-yard line. 2nd and 4. Arrington alone. Cardinals clustered to the right side. Tim Ewis, the former Pittsburgh Steelers special teams standout, in motion, and a dart delivered by Boyd, and it's complete to Michael Spurlock, the former Mississippi Rebel.
Again, off the play action, little misdirection right there, and he just drops back, plays a little pitch and catch, and he shows you that he's got great arm strength. It showed good awareness of what the coverage was. Receiver did a nice job sitting down in the hole, and Shane Boyd delivered.
Gain of 9 brings up 3rd down and short. Cardinals 0 for 5 in the first half. Last year here in that loss to the Raiders, they were 1 of 11. Spurlock in motion to the far side. Boyd going to the left side. Merritt with a first down. He's got it. Ahmad Merritt moves the chains. The Cardinals now operating in the red zone, and the backup
of the throws that Ken Wisenhunt was looking for Shane Boyd to make. That little throw into the flat with some touch on it. So not throwing that bullet, hitting the man in stride, and allowing him to turn it upfield and get the first down.
Now the only thing that's going to save this.
Number 72 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Brandon Gorn.
Brandon Gorn, the former Purdue Boilermaker, didn't play last year after 18 starts the previous 2 seasons with the New England Patriots. He also was a starter on Belichick's offensive line in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's played some good football. Last year struggled a little bit when he came to the Arizona Cardinals, but he's looked good throughout the offseason and through preseason so far.
Boyd dumps it off to Arrington. Does a little wheel route, gets past a guy, knocked down inside the 10-yard line. Plays that check down, and it worked out okay. Got positive yardage out of it. And now Boyd is 5 out of 7.
And maybe he is getting his confidence rolling a little bit. He showed flashes last year in the preseason when he was with Pittsburgh. He made you, look at that program and say, all right, who is this kid? Let's take a look at him. And maybe that experience in NFL Europe helped him out a little bit.
Now on 2nd and 7. Arrington got 8 yards back. Arrington in motion to the near side, but Boyd needs to talk it over. He calls time. University of Phoenix Stadium at field level. Levi Brown, the first-round draft pick at right tackle now. On 2nd down and 7 from the Oakland 8-yard line. And the receiver was not ready for the ball as Boyd delivered. He was looking in the end zone for Ben Patrick, the rookie out of Delaware, previously at Duke University, and Patrick never even turned around.
Well, he didn't turn around. There was a little miscommunication and not an understanding of what the scheme is all about.
Cardinals spread him out on 3rd and 7 from the 8. Boyd from the shotgun. He's going to go. Looking for room, and he's got it. Touchdown, Cardinals. What a great cutback move by Shane Boyd. And Arizona continues to slice into Oakland's lead.
Well, how about you, the true professional that you are, talking about the leading rusher in NFL Europe? Showed you why right there. That was a nice little move.
Even a stopped clock is right twice a day. That's an analog joke. Let's take a look.
Boy, great job right here. Excellent blocking up front. And then he just does this on his own. Great effort by Spurlock right there. Could have been called for a clip, it looked like, but got a little break right there.
Rackers with the extra point that makes this a 4-point football game. So Boyd with the 8-yard touchdown scramble. Celebrates on the sidelines. Yeah, he knows he's done good. Cardinals are back with Gabriel and Higgins. Johnny Lee back deep to receive for the Raiders. Rackers with another touchback. Have they returned one on him? I don't know. Hey, Jody Jackson has been looking for Cardinals fans. Jody, how you making out?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm actually still on the sideline. I could not find a Cardinal fan in the black hole, but I did find a guy here named Tank from Sacramento. And Tank, do you fear for your life when you come here every year as a Cardinal fan?
Not for my life. It's a little scary, obviously. I'm the only one here.
All right, Tank, I'm gonna pretty much send it back. I can't hear you, but man, this is a rough deal you have. Yeah, we can't hear anything, but I give Tank a lot of credit for wearing the liner jersey here to McAfee Coliseum, and I believe we have action on the field.
We most certainly do, Jody, and you know, maybe Tank brought the Cardinals a little bit of good luck because the ball goes on the ground, and Alan Branch, the former bulldozer at the University of Michigan, with the recovery as Dante Culpepper fumbles on the exchange.
Wow, I'll tell you what, that's ugly if you're Dante Culpepper. That's not a great way to start your days with the Raiders. Turn it over. Cardinals got a chance right now to come back and actually take the lead. Alan Branch is another interesting story. Second-round pick for the Cardinals. They traded up to the first pick in the second round to get him. He's a young man with a lot of ability, and with some coaching, he could be a special player as well.
Shane Boyd, 5 of 8, 37 yards passing, 2 rushes, 17 yards and a touchdown. Arrington cuts it back inside as the Cardinals with golden field position starting in the red zone. And take a look at how it played out in the 2007 draft. Levi Brown, a terrific pick at number 5 overall, and then Branch out of the University of Michigan. You know, they grow good linemen on both sides of the ball in Ann Arbor.
Well, they certainly do, and I think if you look throughout that draft, they've got guys that have a great chance to contribute. When you look at Buster Davis, who was the 3rd-round pick, and then Steve Preston in the 5th-round pick. Look out for this young man. He is going to be an exciting return man.
Ben Patrick also led Duke 2 years in a row receiving as a tight end, and Boyd, oh, that ball was intercepted. They're going to give him the pick. He's up and running. That ball was live. And Tyler Brayton down the sideline. He's going to score.
I think it hit the ground.
That would be an 81-yard return for Brayton, who goes 6'6", 280. Brayton last year started at defensive end, didn't record a sack, so they put him on the second string at D tackle. And now Wisenhunt is throwing the beanbag, but let's take a look here. I actually happened to be watching this through binoculars, and I thought it was clean.
Boy, hard to tell from that look
Arizona
right there.
is challenging the ruling on the field that it was a completed pass.
I don't like watching action through binoculars, but just as I looked at it straight on,
I don't know if we have enough
Bill,
angles.
I thought it stayed. I thought he cradled it and gathered it in. So Bill Levy will come over to the new high-def replay monitor here at McAfee. Guy in the wrong jersey for another interception return for a touchdown. Let's listen.
After reviewing the play, the pass hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass.
All right.
It'll be 3rd down and 6 on the 13-yard line.
Bullet dodge.
With the timer, please put 8:47 on the game clock. 8:47.
Boyd has completed 5 consecutive passes, now facing 3rd down and 6. The Cardinals 1 of 6 on 3rd down tonight. Boyd steps up in the pocket and then is fed his lunch by Jay Richardson, the rookie out of Ohio State, who started tonight in place of Derek Burgess, coming off of off-season surgery, a guy who is Recorded 27 quarterback sacks the last 2 years.
I put this all on Shane Boyd, and this is exactly what Ken Wisenhunt was talking about. He has time to step up in the pocket here. There's a nice little pocket, and he's got to deliver the ball on time. He starts looking at the pass rush instead of keeping his eyes downfield. There was actually a man running free going to the right corner of the end zone. He had time to deliver the ball. He's got to let it go.
Rackers from 37 yards, end over end, and it is good. So the Cardinals, off the fumble recovery by the rookie Alan Branch, dodged the bullet. Boyd at least gets 3 more points on the board, and hey, Raiders by a stick man.
Points on the board, that's what matters in those situations.
Rackers has hit tonight from 59 yards and from 37. 59 yards to end the first half. He has been driving the ball with authority. This time, though, Higgins is going to bring it out. Penalty marker is thrown by Levy from the backside as Johnny Lee Higgins makes his way to the 20-yard line.
Holding. Number 41 return team during the return. Half the distance to the goal. Oakland's ball, first down.
Now, Ken Wisenhunt told us this morning that Gabe Watson is motivated by having the rookie Branch behind him, and Branch is motivated by the criticism that he might have been overrated, and clearly he proves his worth here. The fumble recovery off the snap to set up Rackers' second field goal.
Well, he shows his quickness and his desire to get to the football, and I think desire is a word I would use with these young guys on the defensive line. They've definitely got it this year.
General Manager Rod Graves, you know, you want to build a winner, you want to build it out of the trench, and you got Brown on the offensive line in the first round. You trade up to get Branch on the defensive line in the second round. I really, really like the way that played out for Graves and the Cardinals in April.
Well, I think they've got 2 guys that could be mainstays for the next 8 to 10 years for the Arizona Cardinals. And you got to build your team through the draft, and I think Rod Graves and his staff over the last 4 or 5 years have done a nice job assembling talent.
Culpepper under pressure. The ball was going forward. His arm was going forward. Cardinals came up with it. Man, he was going to get smoked from one side or the other as the Cardinals brought the full house blitz.
Well, they do a nice job running a stunt on the outside over there. And really, Calvin Pace is the guy that disrupts that, coming to the inside, kind of suckering the offensive tackle, keeping his eyes inside a little bit too long. Defensive tackle goes outside and puts the pressure on the quarterback. And kind of a rough start, wouldn't you say, right now, for Dante Culpepper?
That would be an understatement. Rodney Bailey, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, with the pressure. Culpepper, 2004, he passed the 4,700 yards and 39 touchdowns. This time rolling out the end zone. He's under pressure, and Travis Taylor sliding. Well, he missed third base on the infield skin, and that's incomplete as Culpepper is pressured into a bad pass. Turnover on his first series, 3 and out on his second.
Well, and you mentioned Rodney Bailey, and he has had a great camp as well. Another high motor guy, protection, where they're actually trying to roll the quarterback out in order to buy some time.
Fredrickson had a terrible kick out of the end zone the last time he tried that, and this one not much better, but he gets a fortunate bounce, and he's shaking his head. I would say a lot of people here at the MAC would agree with him as the Cardinals again get great field position, looking to score on 4 straight possessions. Back Allstate, you're in good hands. Redbirds have scored field goal, touchdown field goal their last 3 possessions. Boyd is airing it out. LaRon McCoy diving and down. Incomplete is the ruling on the pass as McCoy very nearly somersaulted into the end zone. That would have been a touchdown.
Roughing the passer, number 94 off defense. Landed full weight on the quarterback. First down.
Well, you can't do that. In the end, they wind up advancing the ball, but McCoy with everything but the finish as Boyd delivered and then took the hit to make the play.
Now, that's just a stupid play right there by the defensive end.
Kevin Huntley, second-year pro out of Kansas State University. Boyd.
And, Shane Boyd shows you right there, Brian. what they like about him. Obviously, a very strong arm, and the most success he's had throwing the football has come off play action today. Another play action pass right there.
And that's a tough luck 0 for 4 after completing 5 straight. Arrington. Now the Cardinals here in the second half. The Raiders had 2 long scoring drives in the first half.
Right.
The Cardinals now are playing ball control here in the second half.
Well, and a lot of that has to do with field position. You get 2 lousy punts from your backup punter for the Oakland Raiders, and you give the Cardinals that short field, and they're going to take advantage of it. It opens that playbook wide open. Ken Whisenhunt, he's a master when you give him that opportunity.
Cardinals have started 3 drives here in the second half in Oakland territory. Arrington tripped up by the linebacker, Isaiah Akajuba, as he turns the corner very close to another first down. This half, Oakland's field position started drive by average its own 16. The Cardinals, the Oakland 33.
That's winning the field position battle right there.
Yes, sir. They had a couple of drives in the first half. Their first 4 drives unofficially averaged about the Arizona 18. This is a whole lot better if you're a Cardinals fan. Boyd is going to need to burn another timeout. Set to Marcel Shipp, the tugboat. Ron Wolfley on Cardinals radio probably going, dude. Had himself a good night. Arrington, though, with a little bit of lightning to Shipp's thunder. First down, Cardinals.
Now, that's J.J. Arrington that I saw run at Cal a couple of years ago. I mean, he gets to the corner, and then he turns it up the field. And, boy, what a nice job. Watch him. Here he is right here. Watch him stretch this out to the outside little toss play to capture the corner. Look at the big men out there. Look at, there you go. There's your first-round draft pick out there making the block, and then they overrun the play. He turns it up inside. He's got that speed. Nice little pickup by J.J. Arrington. Nice job by Levi Brown.
Back-to-back gains of 8 for Arrington. First down now. Cardinals at the Oakland 14-yard line. Boyd did a great job of selling the play action. And Arrington diving into the pile on the left side. Arrington now 9 carries. This could be close.
Well, you know, and you go back to that play where they ran that little toss play, trying to get the ball outside, forcing them to defend the width of the field. You get a big guy like Levi Brown out there. Receiver does a nice job cracking down. This all goes back to Ken Whisenhunt, mixing it up, keeping the defense off balance.
For our Toro ground stats, Toro count on it. Cardinals counting on good field position here in the second half. Trying now to take their first lead of the game. Boyd right down the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Ben Patrick. Completing 5 in a row. On 3rd down and 8, Arrington, the lone setback. Receivers stacked on the left side. Raiders showing blitz. Boyd avoids the pressure. Penalty markers are thrown. Could be a face masking call. Absolutely. As the pass is batted away, incomplete at the goal line. But the Cardinals might be sitting pretty here.
Face mask, number 48 defense. 5-yard penalty, previous spot. Repeat, 3rd down.
That's Chris Clements.
Shane Boyd shows you some athleticism. Nice job of just driving a guy inside. And then, boy, look at that. That could have been a flagrant face mask. Could have been a 15-yard penalty. And really not much, you know, that Levi Brown could do, because he didn't know the quarterback was rolling outside. Pretty good set by him. Gave up a little pressure off the inside, which forced the quarterback back to the outside.
Cardinals are 1 of 7 on 3rd down. That's the 6th penalty against the Raiders. Remember, one of their long scoring drives in the first half, fueled by a couple of major penalties against Arizona. 3rd down and 3. Boyd off of play action. Penalty marker is thrown. Pass is scooped in by Tim Castile, the rookie out of Alabama, who is a short yardage specialist for the Crimson Tide, but I'm not sure this is going to count at all. I think they were blowing whistles and trying to stop him before the snap.
Another play action pass. So obviously Ken feels comfortable with what Shane Boyd can do in that
There were
scheme.
fouls on both teams. Illegal formation. Offense number 72 was on the end of the line.
Gorin.
Illegal to the hands to the face. Number 32. Penalties offset. Repeat, third down.
You know, they only announced the offensive
Correction,
line.
37 on the defense.
Chris Johnson.
They only announce the offensive line when they do something wrong.
Yes.
You know, I've really got a problem with calling that penalty on the tackle because he is on the line of scrimmage. It should be on the receiver who wasn't on the line of scrimmage.
Oh, there you go.
Trying to help those guys out front. By the way, those are the skill position players.
McCoy left, Merritt right, offset eye. Arrington trailing. Cardinals will go again on 3rd and 3 from the Raiders' 7-yard line. And the blitz and the pass knocked down. Intended for McCoy. And knocked down by Marquise Cole, the former Northwestern Wildcat.
Great break on the ball by Cole. I mean, that was just a bullet coming from Shane Boyd. Again, we'll go and play action here with the offset I formation. He just fires it out there on the quick in route, and Cole read it all the way.
This will be a 25-yard attempt for Rackers, who is 2 for 2 tonight. Player gets that one down, and Rackers drives it through to put the Cardinals on the high side for the first time tonight. They were tied at 7, fell behind by a couple of touchdowns. Then Rackers, a 59 kickoffs into the end zone every time. Higgins returned the last one, but from 5 yards deep. So I would say the pro from Illinois is back. Rich Parson, young guy, he says, yeah, sure, I got to show the coaches something here. And so he tries, and Parson is dragged down. There's Tonga foul again. You know, one of the things, too, it hasn't always resulted in the statistic of the sack, but the Cardinals have pressured the quarterbacks pretty well.
Well, they've done a nice job, and they've got so many weapons up front on defense that, you know, all you got to do is force that quarterback to change his rhythm, to not be able to step up and follow through. And they bring up people from a lot of different places, like a lot of weapons on defense as well as offense for the Cardinals.
Well, Echemondu gets the handoff and is tripped up just across the line of scrimmage. And the Cardinals have been an equal opportunity passer pressure team. Your MVP tonight would be Neil Rackers. Well, but, you know, as he has a laugh with our Jody Jackson, who should be talking to somebody over there on the sideline before too awful long. After we sent her nearly to the black hole, she deserves a blow on the laugh, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Anyway, they've gotten after McCown, they've gotten after Walter, they've gotten after Culpepper, and here they come again. And this time, though, Echemondu runs away from that pressure. Man, he got some good blocks on either side of that alley because it was like the Red Sea's parting as he angled over here to the right side.
That was a huge hole on the right side, and that was a blown assignment somewhere in there. Looked like they might have even been short of players up there. A lot of black shirts out there leading the way.
Oliver Celestine picked up after training camp began as one of the guys the Cardinals had signed as a free agent did not report to camp. Echemondu, meantime, his 4th carry, this time from the 33-yard line. Give him 8. Echemondu 4 carries for 23 yards.
That was a nice little cut by Echemondu. Things were stuffed up in the hole, and he just makes a nice little cut back to the left behind the center and picks up a nice gain.
Echemondu at the University of California had some pretty good moments.
Oh, he sure did.
And Kiffin has called him the surprise player of camp as he gets the call here and has a couple more yards after 45 for the first down. He's a guy who played at Cleveland, at Minnesota. When he was at Cal, actually, you know, you got to give Lane Kiffin credit for sucking it up and giving this guy some credit, because when Echemondu was a Golden Bear, Remember California upset USC in triple overtime? Echemandu had, it was in 2003, Echemandu had 147 rushing yards in that game. Off of play action, Adam Chobe, Echemandu into Arizona territory, ripping off chunks of yardage now to the 44-yard line. Celestine once again a court of last resort, and now pressure off the edges. Earlier against a different defensive group, the Raiders were taking big chunks down the middle. This time they're getting it off the edges here. "12-yard gain. Echemandu gets the call again. Penalty marker is thrown as Blackstock trips him up with help from Gabe Watson.
Holding. Number 79 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Paul McQuiston out of Weber State. Actually, it's not Watson. It's Ross Kalaji back in Cardinal red.
Well, and what you're seeing right here, and talking to Billy Davis, he's going to take some of these young linebackers, put them in there, turn them loose, and see what they can do. You know, you draft guys at that linebacker spot because they've got instincts. You see it on the tape. You see them, you know, being able to make plays going downhill is what they say, toward the line of scrimmage. And right now in training camp, a lot of these young guys, their heads are spinning with all the defensive sets and everything that they're putting in. You want to see them just how they're going to compete in a situation like this.
Blackstock, the linebacker, lining up in a down position at the line of scrimmage. The short pass, and Tonga Fowl is there once again, and that will end the third quarter. Cardinals with a decent third quarter. Yes, I would say so, as they have taken the lead. They've scored on 4 consecutive possessions. Kurt Warner will join us after the break in Oakland.
Want to try, knowing you're not going to play, you want to try to establish a rhythm early, and we didn't. But I thought the third series, you know, we started our own 3, we moved the ball, you know, got across the 50-yard line. So it's promising. You know, then Kurt came in and had a great series. BJ looked great. So I think we showed some stuff. You know, obviously we got to clean it up, but I'm happy, and right now we're winning. Hopefully we can get a win.
Besides staying healthy, what is your personal goal for the preseason?
I just need to keep getting better. You know, out there I felt like I was a little rusty, but you know, I feel good with the offense. I just got to keep getting better in camp and come out next week against Houston, I believe, and just come out and you know, put 7 on the board. We want to score some touchdowns.
Okay, thanks a lot, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, Brian, let's go back up to you in the booth.
Thanks very much, JJ. Ross Kalaji, the veteran, sniffing out and forcing Echemandu into the arms of Cooper and Holloway. And so on 3rd down and long, this one is not going to get it done. The pass out into the flat to Higgins from Dante Culpepper. Buster Davis, the 3rd-round pick out of Florida State University. And talk about a dynamo, 5'9", 242 pounds.
Looks like they're going to go ahead and go for it right here on 4th down. You know, you mentioned Buster Davis. Built low to the ground and a thumper in the middle, there's no doubt.
Well, he was the Seminoles' leading tackler 3 consecutive years. And on 4th down and 6 from the 39-yard line of Arizona. Culpepper operating from the shotgun. Airing it out down the sideline and a little bit too far. The intended receiver was Chris McFoy, the rookie out of USC. He was pretty well covered downfield by Ralph Brown, the veteran out of your alma mater, Nebraska.
Well, you know you got a shot if you got a bunch of Cornhuskers on your team.
Mano a mano. And then, yeah, he tripped over the yard stripe there, about the 10, and a turnover on downs.
Nice to see for the Arizona Cardinals. Great field position as well, starting at their own 40.
Ken Wisenhunt has a man in reserve, but Shane Boyd remains at quarterback. Toby Corrodi out of Central Missouri. Baylark is now in. Steve Baylark out of the University of Massachusetts, who was actually sold to Ken Whisenhunt by his former coach when they were together in Pittsburgh, which takes us back to Super Bowl experience. Whisenhunt won the Super Bowl with the Steelers. How about Russ Grimm? Won 4 rings, but there are 4 other guys on that staff who won Super Bowl rings. And Terrell Austin, now coaching the defensive backs here in Arizona. Austin went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago with the Seahawks, where they lost, of course, to the Steelers. So Whisenhunt is a winner, and he has surrounded himself with winners. And that's for Whisenhunt, general manager Rod Graves, to put that kind of staff together. You know the elevator button is pushed up.
Well, and it started, you know, with the interview process that Michael Bidwell and Rod Graves went through. Very, very extensive this go-around in hiring a coach. And what, I think it took 13 hours the first time that they sat down with Whisenhunt. That's just grilling the guy. And obviously, they made a pretty solid decision when it comes to the head coach. But then, like you mentioned, the rest of the staff and the continuity with, you know, the guys all playing together, and there you get a shot right there of Russ Grimm. Now, you talk about some meat hooks. I mean, this guy, you know, I'm 6'6", 320 pounds. You shake Russ's hand, you feel like you're a little kid. This guy doesn't have hands, he's got paws.
Ricky Schmidt will get a chance to punt this one, the rookie out of Shepherd College in West Virginia. Scott Clair had a pretty good night. First time the Cardinals have punted this half. Schmidt hangs a nice one up there, and it's going to die inside the 20-yard line.
Well, as far as backup punters go, I think right now we have a huge advantage.
So the Cardinals winning the field position battle, and with just under 12 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter in Oakland, they're winning the game as well. University of Phoenix Stadium includes free recycling bags for tailgaters in Sportsman's Park outside, and recycling containers throughout the stadium. We hope that every one of you will follow Big Red's example and recycle at University of Phoenix Stadium. Boy, Culpepper is just done wrong on that play by his receiver, Will Buchanan. I mean, that just dead to rights. He could have run all day, but Buchanan can't hold on to it.
You know, Bob Uecker comes to mind right here, because that'd be defined as a whole mess of ugly right there. You have got to catch that football, son. Oh my goodness. Hey, son, bring your playbook.
Well, you know,
coach wants to see it.
One of those things that just proves that not everybody who played at USC can get the job done at the next level. And at that time, Culpepper under a little bit of pressure, but he overthrew his receiver by about 5 yards, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and 10.
Well, and we kind of make light of that, but at the same time, you get into the 4th quarter of these preseason games, and this is where it's really on the line for a lot of these young guys.
The other thing, too, Cardinals brought some pressure. They continue to bring pressure. Look at Joe Tafoya out there on the right end.
He's made a couple nice plays.
Culpepper operating out of the shotgun. This time has time, steps up and delivers the ball downfield. Higgins has it, beating the defensive end and knocked down inside the 30-yard line as Higgins beats Travaris Bain, the rookie out of Hampton University. A big play from the former 4,700-yard passer Culpepper.
Well, after a rather ugly start for Dante Culpepper, that's something that we've seen from Dante Culpepper over the years. He's always thrown the deep ball very well, and I'll guarantee you that Al Davis is just loving that throw down the field.
Well, 50 yards to Higgins. Now the swing pass, and fullback to not hang on to it. Orrin O'Neal, the rookie out of Arkansas State, a 6th-round draft pick, and he gets a little chuck just for good measure. So you can thrill him, but you've got to finish as well.
Well, they've had some drops. They're talking about the Raiders receivers, whether it's guys out of the backfield or at the wideout spot. Their tight ends have really been the most consistent guys when it comes to catching the football.
Culpepper 3-9, 63 yards their last 4 possessions. Punt, fumble, punt, turnover on downs, and Echimontu spinning out of trouble, caught, and still Kind of like the old Timex watch. Took a licking and kept on ticking. Tafoya with the finish on the play. Joe Tafoya out of the University of Arizona. Played in Seattle the last 2 years out of being.
Here's one of the most violent collisions in the game right there. Did you see the middle linebacker step up and near knee, near shoulder, great form. He just thumps that fullback, forces him back outside. Somebody's got to be there to make the play. And right there, great pursuit to the football anyway to finish him off.
Now, Tafoya was in the neighborhood, but he had a little bit of help out there on the edge. And Jamondu hits the hole and moves the change. First down, Raiders.
And, you know, going back to that play made in the middle, I mean, this is what you talk about with leverage. You know, you look at Buster Davis and people say, well, he's only 5'9" or 5'10", but I'll tell you, it gives him that ability to get up underneath the shoulder pads.
Tank. You think, you know, he might as well just take a golf club out in a thunderstorm and raise it up real high. There's Buster Davis.
Well, you know, Tank might be a few IQ points short of where you'd like to see him. But certainly that group that was yelling around him, they didn't reach double digits either.
And Jamondu has 9 carries for 58 yards, and O'Neal cannot hang on to it. Culpepper kind of surprised him with it, delivering it maybe a little bit early for the young fullback.
Well, and it was a little high, it was a little behind him, but right now O'Neal has shown us that he's a blocking fullback.
Yeah.
And that's his second one that he's dropped already.
Yeah. From the 17-yard line, 2nd down and 10 out of the eye. O'Neal will lead for Echemandu. And the handoff. Oh, nice play as Celestine gets up in the hole in a hurry and cartwheels Echemandu down to the 15-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 7 or 8.
Well, we got to give O'Neal a little credit after we gave him a little bit of a hard time. Watch him come up in the hole and deliver a blow right here. Boom. He just takes Buster Davis 5 or 6 yards back and right onto his back.
2-yard carry, 3rd and 8.
Little payback.
Raiders have knocked on the door a time or two, but have not been able to finish. Culpepper hits his back foot, finds a man, and they don't get it. Couple of yards shy, but you're in 4-down territory as Morant. 9 of 15 now. Oakland on 3rd downs as Morant can't get it done. Johnny Morant out of Syracuse University, and they're going to go ahead and let Janikowski kick for the lead. Sebastian Janikowski last year scored 70 of the Raiders' 168 points. And this one gives Oakland the lead with 8 minutes and change remaining. We'll take time. Cardinals will get the ball back. Now we're riding the seesaw here in the 2nd half. Raiders by a single point. And it will be rested. Wow, look at that. Got another 6 or 7 yards on 2nd effort. Jody Jackson, I think, is catching up with Bertrand Berry. We'll hear from the veteran out of Notre Dame when we come back to McAfee Coliseum in Oakland. The only thing he didn't do was rip off his jersey. Of course, he did play some.
And you didn't give us the goal call either.
No. But it's good. You want my goal call?
Yeah, can you do that, like that 10-second goal call?
No, that's Andres Conner. I won't do that. I will not dishonor the beautiful game by doing a bad Andres Conner.
I'm all right.
So I wonder if Neil Rackers could do Andres Conner.
He probably could. And I'm all right with giving him the big hit of the game because that was a great kick.
Now, it was a beautiful game, by the way. He is solid, just so you know. Okay, Boyd now 0 for his last 8. As he tries to bring the Cardinals reserves back into position. Watkins with the catch out in the flat, wrestled out of bounds by Cole. Todd Watkins was a guy mentioned today in our meeting with Ken Wisenhunt. The head coach said he's had a pretty good camp, first-year pro out of Brigham Young. And He talked about Watkins, he talked about Michael Spurlock, he talked about LaRon McCoy, and he says, you know, at some point there's going to have to be some separation.
Well, and where those guys are going to make the team is with their contributions on special teams. Obviously, we've seen that the Cardinals can use a little work here, but that's where they get an opportunity to shine and make this football team.
Good time to break that string of incompletions. Penalty marker is down offside. That'll be a free play for Baylark. Steve Baylark out of Massachusetts, following in Marcel Shipp's footsteps as a senior.
Offside, number 97 defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Dave Tollefson out of Northwest Missouri State as Rackers continues to stay loose on the sideline. Could come down to that as the Cardinals trail by a point, but Baylark getting a touch as a senior at UMass. 1,900, almost 2,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. Not exactly Marcel Shipp numbers, but not too shabby either.
Yeah, pretty solid effort. There's no doubt about that. And there was good push on the right side behind #1 draft pick Levi Brown on that last play.
Preston motions and then tightens up on the right side, and Boyd bounces the pass to Watkins on the left side.
You know what I like about that play, though? I mean, I know it was incomplete. It wasn't a great throw. Didn't get his feet set. There's some mechanical issues right there with.
Let's talk about simpling it down, going away from the zone blocking scheme. Let's explore that. As Castile will lead block for Baylark, who is hitting the backfield, dances to the left side, and gets a couple out of that. It's going to be 3rd down and short.
And you know, Brian, what happens when a guy comes into the game and he's new into the flow of things? If you're going to be a good running football team, there's a rhythm to running the football. And right there, he was probably a little impatient, went backside a little too quick when it looked like there was room if he just follows the fullback right there.
The basic idea in Grimm's scheme is basically you have 2 decisions to make, right? You either go over here or you go over there, right? Is that basic? It's probably an oversimplification, but that's close.
I don't know. Here and there pretty much covers the whole area, doesn't it?
Yeah, rather than multiple options.
Number 75 offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Levi, welcome to the NFL.
Fine him. He's got enough money. Fine him.
On Maximum Cardinals, he said he didn't know what it's like to be a millionaire yet because, oops, we saw that.
That was just a hiccup. You know, I don't know why you throw the flag there.
Yeah, but when your caboose is that big, that's a really big hiccup that's easy to see.
The white doesn't have a slimming effect? Is that what you're saying?
Must be the red. He saw the red. So 3rd down and 8. Brown says, I don't know what it's like to be a millionaire. I haven't got a check yet. Oh, my goodness. Boyd, after the initial contact, Ekajuba with the sack in the end. I can't believe that Boyd even stayed on his feet. But Ekajuba made sure that he didn't for very long. A sack ending that Arizona drive.
Boy, just comes unblocked right to the seam.
I mean, now that you got to give the kid, you got to give Ekajuba props because he kind of missed him the first time, got right back up to knock him down.
Well, and you know, really, the Cardinals didn't have anybody assigned to block him. Everybody was occupied. Nice defensive call by the Raiders coaching staff.
So here's Schmidt, left-footed, bad. And on the return, it's Rich Parson to the outside. Castile ropes him down. Tim Castile, the rookie out of Alabama, getting it done in special teams, but Parson with a decent return. There is a penalty marker on the field. Be 21 yards.
5-yard face mask against the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, 1st down Oakland, timeout.
And it'd be on Castile. So Raiders have the ball very close to midfield. Up a point, 5 minutes remaining in the 4th. Back next Saturday afternoon at University of Phoenix Stadium. 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time kick. Maximum Cardinals the pregame at 12:30. And the Raiders are getting something done on the quick hitter to Chris McFoy. former Trojan from Southern California. Culpepper only 4 out of 12 for about 70 yards, and 50 of those came on one play.
Well, that was a nice throw, though. That was vintage Dante Culpepper on that shot down the field, and right there, getting victimized a little bit over on that left side at that cornerback spot here the last couple of possessions.
Well, Travaris Banks, he was the guy who got beat on the long play, and we'll have to take a look and see what kind of safety help they're giving. And here on 2nd and short, Echimandu for the first down at the 36 of Arizona. At this point, the Raiders just looking to salt it away.
And hopefully get a stop here if you're the Arizona Cardinal defense, get a turnover, find a way to exercise a little 2-minute drill, get it down there, and maybe get it in position for a game-winning field goal.
Shane Boyd had to take a couple of timeouts in the 3rd quarter to gather himself. Didn't like what he was seeing. Culpepper downfield, and another drop, and Higgins, Johnny Lee Higgins, they've been looking at him as a return guy, and if he makes the team, that might be where it ends. Higgins just snow cones that thing right out of his mitts.
Again, another guy that's got to be thrilled that there's a little plastic on the front of those shoulder pads. Otherwise, that ball's leaving a mark right on your chest. That's a bullet from Dante Culpepper. Nice throw by Dante, rolling out to the right. And, oh, my. Don't hit him there. Maybe stick it in his face mask.
Echimandu cuts it back inside. Ridden down from behind by the linebacker David Holloway, the rookie out of the University of Maryland.
I played with his dad, Brian Holloway.
Did you really?
Right here with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Brian, of course, played a long time with the New England Patriots, lined up for years next to John Hanna. And I played with him with the Raiders back in '87 and '88.
Holloway, his grandfather on his mother's side, Pye McKenzie, who was a pretty good hockey player with the Boston Bruins.
Look at you.
Look at this. Echimandu strung out, drilled on 3rd down and short. So let's see if they go ahead and let Janikowski kick it for a 4-point lead. Then the Cardinals have a chance. Well, it won't be Janikowski. Michael Adams with the stop to keep him from getting that first down. And what they're going to do is Tyler Frederickson is going to attempt the field goal. And the fans here do not like that. Frederickson out of the University of California. Not too terribly far away. This one ducking through.
Maybe it's easier to kick off the dirt.
48 yards for Frederickson. It wasn't the prettiest thing, but it drops for a 4-point lead. And now the Cardinals, with only one timeout, are going to have to, well, they'll also get the 2-minute warning, but they'll have to cover whatever length of field they're given off the kickoff. And get it done. They'll have to score a touchdown to win the game.
You know, on the positive side for the air dates.
Do you really?
Yeah, I'm going to have to see if I can get into that contest.
I would really like to see that.
I can really get it shaken. I just can't get it stopped.
Reston from the 4-yard line. Here we go. 30, 35. Bounces off a man at the 40 and out to the 45-yard line. And let's see, you called for the screen pass in the first half, and you got that one right. And you just mentioned the Cardinals' need for a big special teams play, and they get it from Reston. A 42-yard return. And who tackled him? Was that? That was Frederickson.
Well, he's all fired up after hitting that 48-yarder off the dirt. And what you like about this, when you look at Preston, he just hits that hole going north and south. Great job. There was some great blocking up front, but boy, he hit it hard, and that's where you get those positive yards off the return. Great field position. Now that 2 minutes and 11 seconds to run your 2-minute offense, the Cards got a shot here.
Well, maybe you can do your Toyota touchdown dance before we get out of here tonight. Alert the media. Ooh.
Well, I think this is a family show, and I don't think that would be appreciated.
Well, yeah. You have a point there. Matt Trannon was the intended receiver, as the Cardinals have used pretty much every available player here tonight. Trannon, a rookie out of Michigan State, the intended receiver.
He's an intriguing young man as well.
Why do you like him?
Great size and great athletic ability. He was a basketball player at Michigan State.
Well, if he played for Tom Izzo, you know he's tough. And wow. I mean, not so fast, says Chris Clements. Boyd sacked for the 3rd time tonight. Clements with a big play. If there's anything good about that is that it brings us to 2-minute warning and it stops the clock.
Well, that's just, you know, you look at how quickly that Brandon Gorn right there, how quickly he turned his shoulders parallel to the sideline. That is an absolute disaster for an offensive tackle.
Boyd, in addition to the sacks, 6 of 20, 49 yards. He had an interception return for a touchdown, and now the hill gets a little bit steeper. The reserves have shown a fair amount of resilience. Some of what this game comes down to is a lack of discipline that cost them on one of the Raiders' long touchdown drives. Still got a chance here, but it's 3rd and 19. And Boyd has some time out of the pocket, but throws up a duck, and it's almost intercepted. And, you know, that Ricky Brown helping the Cardinals. They've dropped what? A couple interceptions tonight. They've dropped 4 passes on offense. So, but that one was, Boyd, it almost looked like it just slipped out of his hand.
Well, it looked like his arm got hit as he released the ball. And it looked like he got hit right on the elbow. So
that'll make it slip out of your hands.
That will cause you to be a little less accurate than you'd like to be.
Nick Leckie and Mike Gandy talking things over on the sideline. The Cardinals are down to their last gasp on 4th down. Four-man rush. Boyd is pressured from the backside, and that will do it. Pass nowhere near getting to Ahmad Merritt, the intended receiver. And so the Raiders will just kill the clock after taking over on downs, barring something spectacular. But let's go back to the old saying that, you know, a great preseason record sometimes portends a poor regular season. You can be 4-1 and 5-0 and still go 6-10. And Wisenhunt made that point. And again, this is not just about playing winning football, but he's got to evaluate guys, and they've got to get certain things ironed out. And it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a process.
It definitely is a process. And you know how it goes, Brian. I mean, anytime you actually buckle up that chin strap,
that's you want a 3rd and final charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
You want to go out there and compete. And you want to go find a way to come away victorious. But like you said, you've got to evaluate a lot of young players. And I think when you look at this game overall, there were some real positives for the Cardinals. And it's going to be one of those things when they look at that tape, this is going to be a great foundation and measuring stick for where they're at and where they need to go.
You know what I liked? I liked the pressure that the defensive front, the front 7, brought fairly consistently tonight. Clancy Pendergast is making the offense a whole lot better up at camp at Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff, which, by the way, had a great time up there.
Yeah,
well worth the visit. They've
it?
had some pretty good crowds up there. Well worth the visit, as the Cardinals will be back there yet for another couple of weeks. But the defense has been making the offense work and think, and those things will just make you better. Etchemondu will get the call again, cuts it back inside, gives us a chance to remind you that this is an exclusive presentation of the National Football League and the Arizona Cardinals Football Club. Any reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the images and descriptions of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Arizona Cardinals and the National Football League is strictly forbidden. All rights are reserved.
Well, you know, and you mentioned Flagstaff. That's got to be one of the most beautiful places to have training camp in the entire National Football League. 7,000 feet, about 75 degrees every day. Kind of a country club environment, really, up there.
Speaking of which, you played a little golf up there. Does the ball really travel farther at 7,200 feet?
Yes, it
does. Listen, Kiffin has got to be happy with Etchemondu. No doubt about it. And let's see, it's going to bring up 4th down, but the Cardinals cannot stop the clock. They're out of timeouts.
I would agree with you. He should be happy with Edgemonde. He's done a nice job tonight. And, they look like they've made some strides, and they're getting to be on the same page. And new coaching staff, first-time head coach for Lane Kiffin, only 32 years of age. That in itself is fairly impressive.
10-second difference between the game clock and the play clock. So the Cardinals, I think they're going to get it back one more time, and then it will be time to light a candle and say Hail Mary.
Timeout.
And now they take their timeout.
That's their first charge. Timeout.
That's it.
We need a Herm Edwards play right here.
I don't know what you do in a situation like that. Houston Texans will be at University of Phoenix Stadium next week, and again we'll be on the air. Jody Jackson and the gang will have Maximum Cardinals starting at 12:30 Mountain Standard. What up to our viewers in Albuquerque, in Las Vegas, in addition to our viewers in the state of Arizona. This is, you know what, this is a pretty good year to pick up Cardinals football.
It's not bad at all. And the University of Phoenix Stadium, boy, if you haven't been out there, do yourself a favor, find a way to get some tickets.
If you can get a ticket.
It is sold out.
Playing surface, the stadium voted the best playing environment in the National Football League, and we will be glad to get there in Glendale next week.
That's the end of the
Cardinals preseason home opener. Tonight they come to Northern California, the Bay Area, and play the seesaw game. Get some great field position in the second half, but in the end the reserves cannot hold off the Raiders, who win this one by 4.
Well, like we said, a great measuring stick for where they're at for this first preseason game. A lot of guys got playing time for the Arizona Cardinals. For this coaching staff, should be an opportunity to evaluate special teams. Jumps out at me as coverage teams are going to need a little help. Some of these young guys are going to learn what it's all about to try and make the squad by improving in that area.
Final thoughts before we back on out of here. The Raiders 27, the Cardinals 23. In Ken Wisenhunt's debut.